Hi, I'm Moises Castillo, and welcome to Warrior Talk. We've got a pretty good show for you here today at Que Suave Cafe. Introducing first, he was a star athlete with the Socorro Warrior Athletics, playing the sports of football, track and field, and baseball. He is now an assistant coach for Socorro Warrior Baseball. Let's give a warm welcome to my dad, Moises Castillo Sr.
Thank you.
But yeah, feel free to applaud.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so what we're going to do here is just kind of a little icebreaker. And being that we're in a coffee shop, what is it that you're drinking today?
I think it's the white chocolate mocha.
The white chocolate mocha, all right. So if you could just go ahead and, this will be like the kind of the boring part, I guess, if you will. Just kind of give your name, the sports, a slight description of yourself, and then we'll move from there.
My name is Moises Castillo, former Socorro Warrior, former boxer, former cage fighter, you name it. Thanks to sports, able to do it all, And now proud dad of this young man here next to me. But sums it all up kind of quick. Sorry about that, boy.
Oh, no, you're good. That actually saves up a lot of time for the story portion of it. You know what I mean? Because I hope you saved some good stories, because I know the stories that you told me at home are freaking awesome and very, very podcast worthy.
Sorry if I repeat some of them, boy.
Oh, please do. So I guess what we'll start off with, so of course, being that I'm your son, I'll know this information about you. So how did you end up in Socorro initially?
We have a little bit of family here. My uncle Eligio invited my sister over back in '98, I believe. And we ended up here with her. I was supposed to be helping her out with her kids, and I ended up staying here forever and bringing the whole family here. Mom, dad, brothers, everybody followed. And we thank God for that. This is the longest place we've ever been, and very proud to call home.
Well, I guess in my case, I'm really glad that you made it here to Socorro. So, to my understanding, you made it here in 8th grade, and you had got with my mother your senior year. And so if it wasn't for you being here in Socorro, technically nothing would be possible, because it just, you and Mom would have never met, and none of that stuff would have taken place.
That's right. Thank God for that.
Yeah, no kidding. So, I kind of have a rubric here, but I'm not going to follow it, because now is the time where the questions start to flow, right?
Yeah, let's go.
So, I guess following the rubric a little bit, how did sports become such a big part of your life?
Oh, man. Well, coming here to a small town, and there's not much to do, but get in trouble or play sports. And, getting in trouble wasn't in my dad's deal, so he put me in sports right away, And thinking I was a tough guy or whatever, he started me off with fighting, and everything just kind of snowballed after that. From fighting, we kept on with baseball and football, and, the rest is history.
So, about you being a tough guy, you have quite an extensive career in fighting. And, of course, I know about that, but I'm sure some of the viewers, a lot of them do know me and know you, of course, but some of them might not know, like, the extent of your fighting. They might have just caught the tail end of your career, if at all. And so I guess really if you could just give us a breakdown of your fighting career in general.
It started, my dad actually ran a gym in Anthony, New Mexico, right in the border of New Mexico and Texas. And same deal, trying to keep my brother off the street or whatever. And him being around so much talent, he saw potential in these kids and started a gym there. And I was really small. I have pictures of as far as I think 3 or 4 years old with headgear and gloves on, so it goes back that far. It was just part of our family to be a boxer, And it followed us here to Socorro, shout out to Coach Victor Saavedra, which we all love, and who made us the badass boxers that we were,
little bit more that I want you to touch on as far as boxing goes. So You've told me a story about your time in the Junior Olympics and Golden Gloves. So, I mean, if you got a couple stories about that'd be great.
So me, my brother, I don't know how many of us ended up taking it, but I'll tell you a story that changed my life. We went to Junior Olympics in Farmington, and I made it to the championship fight, and I took a kidney shot, and I don't know if anybody out there has ever had a kidney blow or whatever, but it took me to a knee, and I don't know what the rules were or whatnot, but they stopped the fight because of me going to a knee anyway. It was controversial, and it changed my life. I got that medal, that silver medal, that second place medal, and on the ride home from Farmington, by the time we got to Socorro, I had rubbed off the second place on the back of it because I was so disgusted by it, and that changed me. From then on, I don't believe I lost ever again, in boxing.
Yeah, so I mean, I could definitely see how that could change a person. You know what I mean? And then especially, like I continuously say, I mean, just knowing you, you coached me through a lot of my athletic ventures. You of course you've taken a big role in a lot of my athletic ventures as Coach Moy. You know what I mean? But kind of that never wanting to lose mentality, I'm sure, is something that you instill in your boys that you coach now. That are of little to no connection to you as far as like actual family or blood relatives or anything. You just trying to instill that in somebody because of that moment, I'm sure.
Most definitely inspired by that moment. I care so much for these boys that I coach that I don't ever want them to feel that, and I hope that by the way I am preparing them, I hope that they get inspired and that they feel what I felt, so that they can not want to lose, and try a little bit harder when they're down or when they're hurting, and that's what I strive for. Thank God for those little moments that you have in life, failure that create the person you are now.
And so, along with all of that you had just said just now, when you first got into high school, what was it, 1998?
In high school?
Correct.
High school was the 99 for us.
99.
Was my
Okay.
freshman year.
So, you first get into high school, you're in a new town, and then of course you already have a background in athletics, more specifically martial arts. But after the story that you just said, I'm sure that you came into the town, and at the time, to my understanding, the town was huge with football and any other sport. So like, going to this year's football slogan is a warrior mentality.
Right.
In my own opinion, it kind of seems like, based off of your previous experiences outside of this town, you came into it already having a warrior mentality.
Yeah, definitely. But my coaches here, especially in the high school, Grandpa Joe, Coach Z, they instill that once a warrior, always a warrior mentality, and you would have never got that out of me unless I would have been a part of this warrior program.
And so, tell us about that, because I know that your coaches had a pretty large impact on you in your youth and high school, like you had mentioned, Coach Joe. But a man that I'd heard a lot about growing up was Coach David White.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't say enough about that man. My coaching style, I feel, is a lot like his. I just love the way he did everything, and I learned so much from him in such little time that we had with him. But everything I do as far as coaching, and it has a lot to do with the way he treated us and developed us and everything. I just loved it. That guy, he was different.
And so he wasn't only your football coach, but he was your baseball coach, correct?
Right. Yeah. Baseball coach as well, and I think he was a comedian and all kinds of crap. I mean, this guy was awesome.
Type of guy that you would say he's a jack of all trades, master of none type of dude?
Yeah, somebody I strive to be like,
Right. So, screwed the volume up right there. So kind of starting your journey in Socorro. So in eighth grade, around what time of the year were you like first semester student, or were you like?
I came in the summer. I was lucky enough to come in the summer after seventh grade, and I met your uncle Sapo, and he, showed me the town. I fell in love, and we stayed here. And after my eighth grade, I didn't really do much my eighth grade year, but get in trouble. I played a couple of pickup games here and there and showed some flashes of talent to the local guys. And these guys are so awesome around here and care so much about their sports. And I got approached over at the. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. We were over at the Horseshoe Pit, and I was hanging out with my homeboys and everything. And we were drinking beer, and I was way too young to be doing that and throwing a party, whatever. And here come the football guys, and they're like, "Hey, bro, we seen you play out there. You got some talent. How do you feel about playing football?" And that's how it all got started. Alan Padilla and the boys showed up over there, and they showed me some love, and I was moved by it. I was like, man, I want to go see what these guys are about. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I showed up to practice, and I loved it. Fell in love with football immediately. I just found a new family right then and there.
So I know that football had a very big impact on your life. I mean, other than that story, but I mean, a lot of the stories that I'd heard growing up, they were either centered around boxing or martial arts, or they were football. And I mean, of course, on our baseball trips, and being that you were my baseball coach for so many years, of course, I heard a lot of those. But when we were just sitting at home, just reminiscing, whatever, I mean, I know that the tapes that you watch a lot are your old football highlights or your old martial arts highlights. So, I mean, this little town, I feel like, from being born and raised here, it's not necessarily looked down upon, but it's nobody really knows its true potential. And I feel like, it takes a person like you to come into the town and, not with nothing, but kind of no idea about what to expect, and just kind of be embraced by everything good that this town has to offer, especially at a young age. And so, I mean, that's definitely how I felt when I was up there. It was a huge family. You have the same community feel up there at the high school as you do down here in the regular town. And I'm sure you felt that same way, just based off of how highly you're speaking of your coaches and your peers. So, I mean, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of love and a lot of respect amongst the peers here in Socorro. And there's a lot of opportunity for greatness over here. But what I had noticed was nothing is ever handed to you here. You have to, if you really want it, you have to go out and try to get it. And so, I mean, I'm sure you've seen some of that in your own experiences.
I have, son, but I gotta be honest with you. A big part of why we're here and still here, our family moved around a lot. I could tell you real quick. We went. I was born in California, moved to Anthony, from Anthony to Albuquerque, from Albuquerque to Chicago. Somewhere along the line in there, we lived in LA, and then we went to Wichita, and then back to Anthony, and somehow ended up here. And out of all of those places, this was the most warm, most welcoming place I've ever been to, and immediately fell in love and couldn't get enough of it and just wanted to call it home.
So after finding home, that's where all of your great adventures and stories come in, because you're not necessarily scared to be yourself anymore, because you've somewhat found your people and found who, your group is, and, who to trust, who not to trust, really. And so, I mean, that'll bring me to the next segment I kind of want to cover is you have sports stories galore. So, I guess now is your time to shine. So, I mean, if one comes to mind and then another comes to mind, let's hear them all.
I was thinking about it at home, and I don't know why. I guess because it just hurts my feelings to this day. And I'm sorry, my man Aaron Rhodes, if you're listening, but we all blame you for this loss. And Cobre, it was my junior year. We had We had to win this game to have home field advantage for the playoffs. We were up by 2 touchdowns for the district championship, and we needed to win by 9 for some weird reason. We were up, I believe, 14. I'm not sure exactly, but they drove the ball down. The clock was counting down. I think it was the last seconds of the damn game. Sorry, excuse my language.
All good, all good.
They throw this damn haymaker, Stan Montoya, into the corner of the end zone, and Aaron Rhodes goes to catch the thing instead of knock it down, and it goes through his hands, and they catch the ball. And it was the weirdest feeling because we won the game, but we lost the championship. So the whole Cobra stands was cheering like they had just won the game, but we were still up 7 at the end of it, but somehow lost the championship. It was like the craziest feeling in the world, but I'm so happy that I was there to even experience it. Like I said, sorry, my man Aaron, if you hear this, but it's true. We blame you.
So I mean, godly, don't hold back. Don't hold back. So I mean, like that. Okay, as appreciative as you're sounding, I'm sure you're being modest, because if I know you, you were pissed off and wanted to like freaking knock somebody's head off.
I think we all did, but it was just a crazy feeling and a really cool experience. At the same time, you know, I doubt anybody's ever felt that before, where they win a game but actually lose it. It was a crazy moment. But I could tell you a cool story about Aaron on the flip note. Our first game of the season, senior year, we play against Fort Wingate, and they kick a ball deep. My man catches it in the end zone and takes off all the way, first play of the game, runs it back. So I hope you forgive me, Aaron. There you go.
I mean, not really that it matters, because he probably feels the same way that I mean, just from my own personal football experience, I didn't really need coach to tell me that I missed a block to know that I missed a block, you know. So I'm sure it's the same sort of dynamic there with Aaron. So I'm sure there's no harm, no foul by the story being exposed.
Yeah, right. You know, I got to say this story. I don't know if it was ever really cleared up, but I got to come clean since I'm on the air with you. We were in the game. I think it was Ruidoso. I think it was. It was heated. Anyway, we were playing dirty. They were playing dirty. It was awesome. You know, they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff under that pile, like everybody knows how. And I thought I'd get me some get back, because I saw this big old paw sticking out, you know. And I thought, man, this guy's big. I said, this big old hand. I said, if I mess this guy up, you know, it might help us out. So I step on this poor guy's hand, and I'm feeling good about myself, like I got one of these dudes, right? And I get back to the huddle, and my man Alan's over there holding his hand, talking about somebody stepped on my hand. So, I mean, Alan, if you hear this, I'm sorry, my brother. That was me. I totally meant it for the other team. But that's karma. You know, don't be doing crazy stuff, because it comes back to bite you in the butt, kids. Believe me.
What's that, 20 years in the making? 20 years in the making, waiting for that story to be cleared up?
Yeah. I apologize, my friend. You know, I feel real bad about that.
You better hope you don't have like social media or something. He lives just right down the road from us, Dad. We might get a knock at the door.
It's okay. It's a long time ago. I'm sure he's going to forgive me.
Not if he still has scars on his hand. You never know. I bet you put all your weight into that thing and everything.
I just hope he never told that story different, because I just ruined it for him. You know, I want to tell a story. We were playing Bernalillo. It was my senior year. And man, we sucked bad. My senior year, we threw the best parties, but because of that, we weren't the best players, you know. But we needed this win against Bernalillo, and I think we were only up 3, and they had the ball, and it was like the last minute or so of the game, and they're marching the ball down, and have you ever had that feeling where you're like in quicksand and there's nothing you could do to stop this team? They're just going to run it down.
The state game, my sophomore year, as a matter of fact, against Hope Christian. I know the feeling.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That's way worse than mine. But because I'm sorry, boy, to bring up old memories. But so they're marching the ball down, and we're all thinking it's over, right? And we're gonna go down with 2 wins this season, It was a terrible feeling. And here comes Kevin Haley. They decide to throw a sweep to the outside or something, and this guy comes out of nowhere. He read it from somewhere, and he catches the ball in midair and runs it back for 7 and just wins us the game, and everybody goes insane. It was a great feeling. It was awesome, and shout out to big Kevin Haley, that was a badass play, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, so I guess since old memories were brought up, I'll go ahead and share some of my stories on there. So my sophomore year, we were playing with an awesome team. I think we were going into the playoffs with one loss, one regular season loss, I believe. And we were, at the time, 2-time district champions. And, everybody thought that we had it, including us. And Coach Al Ocampo had made his official return to the Warrior football program. And shout out to Coach Al, as a matter of fact, because he had taught me a lot about what it was to be a Warrior and also what it was to kick some freaking butt on the front lines, as both a defender and an offensive player. But in this game, Payson Hicks was the quarterback at that time, and we were, I think, perfect, if not damn near perfect, with sacks being averted. You know what I mean? Our line was, known by the state, not just self-proclaimed, as the best line in the state, which was, let me see, it was Ian Jordison, myself, Carlos Zamora, Edgar Perez, and Dylan Avalos. And that was my sophomore year, so that had to have been 2019. 2019, we were the best line in the state of New Mexico, and that was, not just us saying it. And so and we showed it every game. But this game in particular, I'm just getting my butt handed to me, like, horribly, like, bad. And I don't believe it was state. It might have been state. I can't remember that part. Either that or I'm refusing to say for embarrassment reasons. But I just straight up get freaking plowed to the ground and trampled, and Payson gets sacked, and this is in the second quarter, I believe. So we're going up for halftime, and I don't know if anybody knows Coach Al, but he isn't particularly an aggressive person. But I broke the streak, and so, I'm not sure if any of the viewers have watched, Varsity Blues or anything like that, but the way that Bud Kilmer in Varsity Blues grabbed Billy Bob and shook him around for a little bit and screamed in his face, it was the same feeling. It was the same feeling, and I felt it too. I didn't even, I didn't feel any bad emotions towards Coach Al, because God forbid if I was a coach, I would have done the same thing to my player.
You're lucky I wasn't your coach.
I know, I know, but yeah. So I guess that's the only story that I'll share.
Can I? It's a little off, but can I talk about the boys' baseball?
Yeah. So that was actually going to be my next bullet point. So, the next thing up would be what are some of your experiences while coaching for Warrior Athletics, and more specifically Warrior Baseball?
As far as I want to talk about the development of this team coming up, we had a tough season this last season. It was my first actual high school experience, and it's another level, man, and you don't understand it until you do it. There's so many things that come along with it, and my hat comes off to all the coaches that do it, man. Big respect to all these guys and men and women that do it. It was really tough. We had a really young team, and a lot of these guys had never even touched the baseball, so you could imagine, and we probably had the toughest schedule we've had in a long time. I don't think I've ever seen a schedule that tough, and these guys tough. They tough right through it. These poor guys that have never played were the guys that had to play against all these big teams right off the bat. We had all these boys playing basketball and wrestling and all this other stuff, and we did what we could. And from that experience, by the end of the season, these guys look so much better, and we are so excited to have these boys that are coming back and to mix them in with these boys that I've coached from Little League. And it's just going to be a really good deal for Warrior Baseball. And I have big, high hopes for us. And, you know, I promise everybody next year is going to be different. These boys, they played against West Las Vegas not that long ago. We went and had a scrimmage game, and man, they put on a good show out there. We actually gave them boys a really good game, and they looked awesome. And mixing these young guys with the boys that are left over is just going to be a perfect mix, and I cannot wait to be a part of it again. And I hope everybody goes out and supports us as well as they did this year. I want to thank everyone who went out there and supported the baseball team, you know, considering how tough our season was, and you guys are still out there, and we are very appreciative. You know, good or bad, we'll take it. But we want you guys to come back out. Please keep supporting. And I can't wait to show you guys what we have in store for Warrior Baseball. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, I wish you guys the best of luck. Of course, as I explained before, you had coached me in primarily in baseball most of my youth. So I wish you the best of luck as a baseball fan, you know, as a fan of your coaching. I always say if there's one specific thing that you do perfect, it is coaching. You just have a way with getting after the kids and getting them to understand in a way that I haven't seen too many people do. So I'm looking at the time right now, and I just realized that we're gonna have to move on to our next segment before the coffee shop closes. Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and close it out. So this is my dad. As I said in the intro, his name is Moises Castillo. He was a tri-star athlete playing the sports for Socorro High School of football, track and field, and baseball. He is now the assistant coach for Socorro Warrior Baseball. And we wish you the best of luck, Coach. Once again, he is, or not once again, actually, I forgot to mention this. He is an alumni from the class of 2002 who had just recently had their 20-year class reunion. So congratulations on 20 years out of high school. And, you know, I'm sure I'll have you back on the show again, but just want to say thank you. And if you have any last words, now is your time.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much for having me, son, as your first guest. I'm very appreciative. I'm very honored. Thank you so much. And to all of you Socorro Fight fans, you know, I don't know if you guys have all heard, but there's a Socoloco back out there getting in the ring. And I hope you guys all show up to support Richard Montaño in the next bare knuckle match in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
The match that he's referring to is a bare knuckle match. It'll be on August 11th at Tingley Coliseum. And once again, the fighter is Richard Montaño, and he is also a Socorro Warrior alumni. Once again, thank you very much, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, boy. Thanks again.
Alrighty, so as we get ready for our next guest, here's a couple words from our sponsors. We would like to say a big thank you to our sponsors. We have 4 sponsors today on the lineup. Coming in at number 1, big thank you to APO Express, the one-stop shop for all of your design needs. Coming in at number 2, do you have a sweet tooth? Well, I know just the place. Stop by Candyland to get your candy fill. Bringing you this podcast is 6112 Entertainment, providing you with all of your entertainment needs. And last, but most certainly not least, we would like to give a big Socorro thank you to Que Suave Cafe, serving the community and youth 1 cup at a time. And now, introducing our next guest. She is a tri-sport athlete showing dedication and true warrior spirit on and off the field. She is Warrior Talk's first ever Warrior of the Week. Let's give a warm welcome and a round of applause for Miss Faith Lucero.
Thank you.
So we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker like how we did with my dad. So if you just want to give, a brief introduction of yourself and the sports you play, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, my name's Faith. I am 17. I'm a senior at Socorro, and I play soccer, basketball, and track.
And a big shout out to the class of 2023?
24.
24. Oh my God, I've been out of high school 2 years. Holy. So, I mean, just kind of going down similar bullet points that I had for my dad. But how did sports become, a part of your life?
Well, my mom kind of just put me in sports. Like, she just kind of forced it on, not forced, but just kind of made me try anything I could. And I'm really glad she did, because, I mean, that's how I made friends. That's how I met a lot of family. That's how I connected with the community. And so she really just sprung it on me when I was little, and I just seemed to adapt to it. And, I mean, it's done me good so far. I mean, that's my life.
If I may say, so I haven't followed. Okay, well, before I start this, actually, I should ask you: out of the 3 sports that you do, what is your favorite?
My favorite, basketball and soccer, pretty tied, but I would say soccer is ahead of it, just a little more.
Okay, good. I was hoping you said that because that'll line up perfect for what I was just about to say. So I've seen you on the basketball court, of course. And, ow. Sorry, my eye was itching. So I've seen you on the basketball court, and I mean, obviously you're a killer athlete, no matter what you do. But I've seen more of your soccer matches than I have your basketball games. And I gotta say, not too long ago you had a pretty severe injury to your knee, and a lot of people, I mean, at least the talk around the school was like, oh, shoot, when you were coming back, oh, is she going to be all right? Is she going to be able to play? Because, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but you're quite aggressive on a field and a court.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were, as students, we're all wondering, like, oh, is Faith still going to be, that same aggressive player, or is it going to be different? Is she going to be scared? I hate to say scared, but,
Yeah.
And, godly, I went and I tried to check out the first game that you guys did. Wasn't able to make it to that one, but I made it to the second home game that you were back. And there wasn't a difference. If anything, you were meaner. Coming back. I was like, what the hell? I was like, damn, somebody needs to put some pads on this chick.
I think I might have been meaner because, I mean, I had been out for so long and I just missed the physical contact in the game. I missed the whole thing about it. So in my mind, it was like, I'm going all out because I never know if it's going to happen again or if I'm going to be able to play this again. So I definitely think I came back a little more meaner, a little more feistier. My mom was a little scared about that, but I really do think I came back a little meaner.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. And I mean, going back to basketball and, of course, track, I mean, soccer wasn't the only thing that you were mean about. It was like every sport that was taken away from you. Not only did you want to succeed at it more, but I mean, you were competing with anger, and it was awesome. And I mean that in a good way. You know what I mean? I don't mean that like that you were a disruptive player or something. I just mean you could see the passion coming from you. I mean, on the court, and I mean, I watched more games this year than I did the year that you had came back to sports. But on the court this past season, of course, you were aggressive and you tried really hard for the difficult shots and missed a lot and made a lot, and it was a lot of trial and error as things are. I mean, I'm no good at basketball at all, so I commend you for that, alone. But then watching you run track, I mean, I still don't understand how somebody comes back from a knee injury as severe as yours and is still winning races consistently, because it's not just one or two. You're consistently no, you think you won.
It's just, I don't know. That injury really taught me a lot, and it really taught me that things that you love can be taken away so quick, and it gave me a lot more. I just really wanted to do my best a lot more than I did before my injury, and it taught me so much. And I think that helped me a lot in track because I was never a big fan of track, but it really did help me understand, like, you never know how long you're going to have these things that you love, and sports is one of them. Sports is my biggest one, so just going out there and, you know, doing it like I'm never going to do it again, just that really helped me a lot. So it taught me a lot, but it was one of the hardest times to go through.
Not to brag, but like I'm thankful I never had to go through as severe as an injury as you did, although I'm kind of paying for it now because I have a feeling that I did go through some severe injuries, but I was too stubborn to get them checked, you know, so and I'm sure that was the case for you too, because I'm sure somebody like forced you, like, you know, when you went down and, you know, it was difficult for you to move around and stuff, I'm sure that was finally the deciding factor, but even then I'm sure there was a bit of a doubt, like, no, I could do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, the game it happened, it popped the first time they took me out. It hurt, it stung a little, and then I didn't feel it anymore. So I thought, you know what, go ahead and put me back in. I'm ready to go, and went back in, and that's when the second tear happened, and that's when the final tear was, and I mean that's when I couldn't go no more. So I couldn't fight with anyone anymore. That was it, and that was just. All right, well, let's just get it fixed.
I mean, talk about run her till she blows, right? I mean, Jesus, that's the literal definition of run her till she blows, in my opinion, because, God dang, you got more cojones than I do.
It was rough, but, I mean, that's what happens when you love something so much. You just want to keep doing it till you can't no more, and I think you get that. I think a lot of people get that. I've seen a lot of injuries this year, and I think it's teaching a lot of kids more, like, what to take care of and how, like, to care more, to work harder, because you never know. Like, you never know what can happen.
Well, you know, kind of going off of what you had just told me, you're still in high school. You're a senior, class of 2024. I mean, big shout out to the class of 2024. But you got to have some, like, pretty good stories from your time at the high school. I mean, you're entering year 4, but I'm sure years 1 through 3 were absolutely amazing. Now, mind you, this is a PG podcast, and so we gotta try to keep it a little bit PG here, but feel free.
Where do I start? High school has been a blast. I actually really, really love high school, and I'm so sad to have to graduate in 2024, so I'm trying to live up this year as much as I can. But I really think my best memories and experiences came from sports, and I mean, making it to the state championship for soccer 2 years in a row, me being an 8th grader one year and then a freshman another, it was a whole different experience, but it was, I mean, it kicked me off. That made me love it even more. Going to state for track, that was another. I had never done track till I did high school, and it was life changing. It's really cool running in front of thousands of people. It was a crazy experience. But I think I can say the best story I had was going to the state my freshman year, COVID year. We had been online school, and finally we're kind of easing back into it, and we beat all these teams, Bosque, Sandia Prep, all of them. Finally made it to the championship, and sadly we're down 4-0, but I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take this shot because I see it, and I did, and it went in, and that was just, I think that's what really got me, like, gave me more confidence in myself to really just be like, do you know what, like, I can do this, like, I can play soccer. So that was a top memory for me.
On a personal note, on the track portion of things, so I only did track my senior year, but yeah, I mean, you were a part of the team at that time. And, I mean, you got to run in front of thousands of people. I got to run in front of, like, maybe 100. But I did the 100 in front of probably about 100 people, and that was absolutely amazing. But what really got me, which you were actually laughing at me if I remember correctly, was when I did the 400. and I didn't do it right whatsoever. I stayed at one consistent speed throughout the entire time. You want to shed some light on what was going through your head right there? Okay, let's let it all out. Let it all out.
Do you know what? I was just excited for you. I was excited. I run the 400 myself, so I get the pain of it. So watching someone else do it, it's just, I know what someone's thinking in their head, but for some reason I couldn't know what you were thinking in your head during the 400. So all I could do was laugh, and I mean, you kept a good pace. You were going, so I couldn't tell you nothing. It's a hard race, and you did it.
I think you're being nice because you're on my podcast, but let's be honest here. I finished dead last, and I was gasping for air, and I was spinning in the middle of the field. I don't know if you remember that part, because you guys were all still laughing at me. I don't know if you remember that.
Do you know what? You finished it. That's all that matters. That's what Jameson teaches us. That's what Lee teaches us. As long as you finish it, more you finish. So I have to give you credit for it. But last or not, as long as you got past that line, that's all that mattered. But a 400 was rough. So I give you credit for that.
If you're over 200 pounds and you're listening out there, take it from a guy who was 250 plus pounds. Don't do a 400, okay? As a matter of fact, don't run. It's not worth it. Just throw something.
Matter of fact, don't run.
No, but and you know what? And I don't mean to throw Jameson under the bus at all, but that chick, okay, you said that she's always saying, oh, yeah, the most important thing is to finish and all that stuff. You know, when I finished and I went up to her and she saw me cross-eyed, she says, dang, I'm surprised you made it to the corners. I said, what? What do you mean? She's like, I don't know. I thought you were going to pass out on your third 100.
Do you know what? Jameson's a clown. Shout out to Jameson. I love her so much. She pushes everyone to be their best. Whether you're a runner or not, she's gonna have you run. I mean, she had me run. I've never ran a 4x2 in my whole entire life, and my 8th grade year, she's like, puts me in it, and I have no idea what we're doing. I'm pretty sure I made us get 6 plates, so sorry, bad on me, but I had never ever run a 4x2 in my life, and she was like, do you know what, you look like you can do it, so go ahead and do it. And I mean, that's what she probably did to you.
You know, but for me, it was Coach Lee who actually started me out, because so for all the bigger gentlemen out there listening, and ladies, we're all inclusive on this show. In high school track and field, more specifically in 3A, because I don't know if they do this in any other class, but they do a thing called a go-gurt run. And the go-gurt run is typically for players that are throwers, you know. And I was technically considered a thrower, but that was the only reason I was considered a thrower, because I couldn't do nothing. Okay, I was there for the meals and the trips, 100%, because I was not contributing to that team whatsoever, unless it was a go-gurt run. And I was the anchor. And you know what? Shout out to Ali Martinez, class of 2023, but you ain't got nothing on me when it comes to that go-gurt run. You ain't got nothing on me. A matter of fact, I would love to have Ali on the show as an alumni guest. That'd be perfect. But, I mean, you know, other than sports, I get it. This is, you know, centered around sports and athletics. But, I mean, like a solid high school memory, like just something that stands out, you know?
I would have to say anything involving homecoming. I mean, I am a school spirit. I am there for it. Homecoming is my favorite time of the year. It's a holiday for me. It's my personal holiday. Homecoming is just, I mean, Powder Puff this year, I was a little hurt that we lost to the seniors, because juniors were talking very, very highly of ourselves, but with
as you guys do.
But with the one practice we had, we made it to the championship. And I mean, me and Alana, we're best friends, and we're playing against each other, and I see her across the field, and we're just, you know, we're going at it, and we're just talking back and forth. Everyone's going at it, and sure enough, they had plays, they had defense, they had everything you could possibly think of, probably thanks to the senior football players they have. And they beat us, sadly. I don't take it very, very good. But
shout out to the class of 2023 Powder Puff champions. I announced that game, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Just figure I'd throw that out there.
But just that experience, like being able to play football, because I mean we don't play football, but to play against your friends and other classes, just to do it all together and get to know each other more. It was such a good experience, and this year's Powder Puff had to be by far my best. We had our boys play for volleyball, and we also had made it to the championship, which was very surprising because we had not done any severe practices like these seniors have, and made it to the championship and lost to the seniors, of course. What can we say? But we're coming back this year, so just I'm telling you guys now, we're Powder Puff champs, and I just want everyone to know that. But that had to be my favorite experience by far, was Powder Puff this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. The class of 2024 Powder Puff champions, volleyball and football. Can't wait to see that game for sure. I'm going to try to do some coverage on that game. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I hope you know it's kind of rigged. Seniors always win, okay?
They always win, always, and that's why we were talking so highly of ourselves last year, because we really, truly thought we had it. But once again, guys, it is rigged. So don't try to beat it. You're not gonna beat it. Don't try to beat it.
So, oddly, I'm still trying to get over the fact that I graduated 2 years ago. Like, that's kind of pissing me off right now, because I could have sworn it was only a year. I'm like, whoa, where'd the time go? So, I guess before we get into anything else, kind of what are you expecting for this year's athletics? I guess we'll start for soccer. So, just to clarify for the listeners out there, so being that Faith is currently in soccer season right now, she is Warrior Talks Warrior of the Week, representing Socorro Lady Warriors soccer. So congratulations for that. Just had to clarify that because for the viewers and for future guests, if you are per se a tri-sport athlete, you have 3 opportunities, if not more, to make it back on the podcast and make a separate appearance as Warrior of the Week. Shout out to Coach Amanda. She, is taking this group with open arms and is making something great out of it, I'm sure. I've seen her dedication to the program. When she was an assistant coach, I could only imagine that it's gotten more intense and better per se over the years. So shout out to Coach Amanda, and also shout out to Lady Warriors Soccer Warrior of the Week.
Our first game is August 22nd, just to let everyone know, come out, support. This year we have a lot of new girls, new freshmen, and that's how it's been for the past 2 years, a bit of a rebuilding team, but it's nothing we can't handle. I mean, I see so much talent in some of these girls, and they've just never had the chance to really have someone bring it out of them, and I really think Amanda does a good job of it. And she's had a bit of a rough start to the last season, but we all did, and we all worked with each other. And it's just hard going from a winning team to being, okay, let's be a rebuild. We would have to rebuild to be a winning team now. So I really do give Amanda credit. She has stuck it out. She has been through the stress, all of it. But this year I do expect a lot from these girls, because even though they are new and they have either not played before or have took a break from it, I see so much talent and dedication in them, and so I do expect a little more in them than they probably think I do. But I expect a fun season. I expect maybe not a winning season, but
Oh, come on, don't say that. Any
enjoyable
season.
season. An enjoyable season. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I really want these girls to have fun, and I want them to stick to it all the way to their senior year. I don't want them to think like, oh, I have to win, or someone's going to be mad at me, or I have to win, or my parents are going to be mad. I don't want them to think that, because I think that's how it was a few years ago. I just really want them to enjoy it, enjoy the sport of soccer, and yeah, just to have fun. Have fun, enjoy it. Yes, we want to win, but if that's not the case, enjoy it at least.
So, I mean, going more into that, to what you had just said not too long ago about kind of being a leader for the girls, that's a big part of a senior year, you know, whether you know it or not. And I mean, something that, I mean, of course, I know you fairly well, so I know how you are, and I know your leadership, and like I said, your aggressiveness with sports. But I mean, that's definitely something to preach to your fellow seniors. You know, like, hey, like, you know, we have an opportunity to be something really good right now, and it's going to take all of us, you know, because no one person can change an entire team. But if you have a team of people working at it, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I mean, you know, it's going to be a team effort, and of course, you know, you guys are going to be collaborating with your coach, Amanda, and you guys are going to be doing a lot of, I would recommend doing just some solo team building stuff, you know, like amongst yourselves, because it's really important. At the end of the day, it's really important.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely do a lot of like team building things, a lot of little sleepovers. You know how that goes, Moy. Your little team building experierices, your trips.
I don't know what kind of sleepovers you're referring to.
But we do plan on doing a lot of more things, getting to know each other, getting them just to get them out of their shell. I just really hope these girls really see the game of soccer, and because I could tell they love it already. So I just really hope they see it and open up to it more, which that'll come with the leaders, you know, us seniors. We have 4 seniors, so hopefully if we could all come together and really try to help these younger girls see their true ability for this game, and not just the game, but for themselves. But yeah, we do expect a lot from these seniors, and whoever the captains might be, we do expect a lot of leadership, and I see a lot of leadership on our team already, so I'm excited to see all that happen.
So we're approaching our hour time mark. Not that we have a limit, but we're approaching the hour. So I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to go ahead and stay quiet for a little while and just spill the beans.
Spill the beans. Spill the beans.
Spill the beans.
Oh, wow. Spill the beans. I don't know what to spill the beans on.
Okay, let me, as a matter of fact, I might have worded that a little weirdly. Let me say it in your language. Let's have ourselves a little tea party. You know what I mean?
A little tea party. Oh my gosh. Wow. I don't know any tea. Honestly, I'm a pretty boring person. Well, I don't know a lot of tea, but
no. I don't believe that one bit. I don't know. What are you expecting going into this year? I mean, other than sports, I mean, what's
this year? Oh, I expect. Marquez was just talking to us about this in class the other day. I expect this pair of seniors to win the pep rally this year, because you know our class, Moy. We're not a very spirited class, and it really does hurt my heart because I'm a spirited person. I'm a school spirited person. I'm loud. I like all that. So my biggest goal and my biggest hope is to get this class to be able to feel what I'm feeling for this school spirit. I mean, you out of all people, I mean, I gotta say you have the most school spirit I've ever known. So,
thank you.
I really hope we could bring it out this year and really like surprise people and be like, hey, actually, they do actually have school spirit. That's my biggest tea right now. That's what I'm expecting from everyone. So, if the class of 2024 is listening to this, we're winning the pep rally every time this year, and I won't take anything less other than that.
So I'm just going to say it here first. I was declared. Damn. My dad just had to go and freaking knock down a fan. No, but I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Okay, one of the yearbooks declared me as the mascot during my time there. So from, in quotations, the mascot, I passed the torch to Faith Lucero.
I am so honored, and I will take it with everything I can. I'll put it all out there, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna turn this quiet crowd, and I'm gonna turn them into the loudest and most school-spirited people you will ever see. I put that out there now. You could quote me on it.
Oh, we will. I'm gonna quote you on it. You know what? I'm gonna make some surprise appearances. I'm gonna go sit in the back on some of the pep rallies, and if I don't see you being the loudest mofo out there, I'm gonna have a couple words with you, Faith. I don't know, because I don't just pass the torch to nobody. You know what I mean? I needed to find the right person. I've held on to this torch for almost 2 years now. Okay, so this is a big deal for me. It may not be a big deal for everybody else, but it's a big deal for me.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I think school spirit is such a big deal because it brings the school to life. It takes you away from learning for a bit to really have a good time. But I am honored, and I promise to put my all into it. And yeah, I'm ready.
So for the listeners out there, Faith, in my time in high school, had given me the best run for my money as far as like school spirit goes, because she was something else. I mean, and I'm sure the same could be said about me, because it was quite a competition. And when I would love to use the word aggressive, but I feel like I've overused the word. but it definitely it was friendly competition, but sometimes not so friendly competition. You know what I mean?
But we're very competitive people. We can agree on. So it was a competition. I'd say Ali was in there too for her class.
But yeah, that is aggressive competition. Okay, that's not friendly. That's definitely
that
aggressive.
Straight aggressive competition. But yeah, we did have a little friendly feud. But you know what? I think I win at the end of the day, and you might not agree on it, but I think I could say I'm the most school spirited right now.
And there's the key word, ladies and gentlemen, right now.
Okay, forever.
Oh shoot. Well, I mean, this has been a joy, and like I say, I hope to have you back. I'll definitely invite you back. This is a definite. Ooh, I turned down my volume by accident. This was definitely better than I expected, if I'm being completely honest. Surprisingly, everything's working and hasn't shut off on me, and the only mess-ups that have occurred have been operator errors, so that's typical for me. So I guess I'll go ahead and make our exit. If you have one thing to say, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I would like August 22nd, like I said, we do play against Meyer Mira, our first game. Everyone come out and support as much as you can. Support as many sports as you can, and I encourage everyone, freshmen all the way to seniors, if you are not playing a sport, please play a sport. It teaches you so much in life, and it's such a fun experience, and I promise you will love it so much. Whether it's esports, golf, soccer, track, whatever the case is, support it, be a part of it, and enjoy it. And yeah, watch the teams, basketball, football, all of it. Keep posted on Instagram, whatever you got, and just come out and support.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Ladies and gentlemen, and listeners from afar, and the few listeners with us here today, I hope this program grows, both my program and Warrior Athletics, into what it once was, and what it still is, in my opinion. And I just want to give a warm welcome And an even warmer goodbye to Faith Lucero, Socorro Lady Warrior Soccer, and Warrior Talks first ever Warrior of the Week. And I think that about does it for us. Thank you, Faith.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love this so much. Can't wait for the next one.
Yes, ma'am. Well, this is all we have for you today. Thank you to our guests, Moises Castillo Sr. and Faith Lucero, for joining us here today. Once again, would like to thank you to our sponsors, APO Express, Candyland, 6112 Entertainment, and Que Suave Cafe. To listen to episodes, please go to www.thewarriortalkpodcast.com. Once again, that is www.thewarriortalkpodcast.com. All of the links will be available. Unfortunately, episode 1 will not have a video option for it, but you can listen to the episode on Spotify. That is all we have for you today, and our next guest is to be announced. Thank you. I'm Moises Castillo, and this is Warrior Talk.